see this a call to Christians everywhere, is that we are always to imitate God. Who are you imitating? Are you imitating Superman? Are you imitating an animal like a raptor? I mean, it's funny, but a lot of children imitate their father and their expectations, and their father wasn't the head quarterback, they were the backup. So the father wants their son to be the head quarterback. So you imitate what your father's expectations. But I'm saying you need to imitate Christ. You need to imitate those who are striving and have the like-mindedness of the ministry of Christ and the ministry of his disciples. Stay away from immorality. Immorality is something, like when I was younger, I was told not to drink coffee. Probably because I was a little ADD. And I was like, coffee doesn't affect me. Coffee doesn't affect me. And I was that kid, but I would take this much creamer, this much sugar, and this much coffee. And so that's a recipe for disaster. So I would drink it, and it would just cause me to go crazy. And as many of you know, and maybe it did stunt your growth, but they say that coffee stunts your growth. And just like immorality, or having this attitude of the preacher's not preaching the way that so-and-so preached, or the way that I like it, or the worship style that I like. But you're being selfish. You're saying, I like coffee black. I don't like coffee with sugar and creamer. So you better not give it to me that way. You're not keeping an open mind and seeing that God works in way more crazy ways than we have ever imagined. And so the last thing is that we need to walk in the light, and that we need to wake up, oh sleeper. You might be sleeping right now, but I don't hold that offensive to me. But some people do when they're speaking, but I understand people have different medical conditions, but that's not talking about just physical. It's talking about you need to walk in the light, and you need to wake up from this darkness and from this immorality and attitudes. And you also need to walk in the light. And when I think of waking up, another good illustration that I've heard is that as Christians, and before we meet Christ, we're like a caterpillar. And caterpillar kind of waddles like this, it's just kind of happy-go-lucky, and it just goes up and down trees and leaves, and it's just kind of just happy to be alive. And then one day it goes to sleep in its cocoon, and so it's just like this, and it's sleeping, and then it wakes up, and it's a butterfly. And as Christians, we need to wake up. We need to quit just doing things as we usually do, because there's people around us that are living in sin, that need love. They don't just need us to condemn them. They need us to love them, imitate God by walking in love. And we need to wake up and be like, whoa, we're flying. And so as Christians, I call you to be butterflies, to wake up from your slumber and to see life from a bird's view, from a butterfly's view. And so I'll just close with this, is that there's many things in life that affect us. There's many immoral things that come into our lives because you see how youth and youth ministry has been changing, and how different people from younger ages are subjected to a lot of immorality and filth in media and different things. And I have a heart for people and for kids that are hurting. And I've seen a lot of hurt with kids, and I've seen a lot of this, but a lot of immorality, and I see this as a call to everyone that we need to understand that people are going through hard times, and there's harder times to come, because in the 90s they were like, wow, this is just really bad, and now you look at it and it's almost 2 or 3 times, 4 times worse. And so we're going through a hard time morally in the United States, and I'm just telling you, and I'm preaching something from my heart that it hits home for me, because a lot of times you're subjected to something and it almost becomes your life. And that's what I believe immorality and this effect is happening, and it's coming through the church doors, it's coming through our communities, and it's breaking our children. It's breaking even some of you with addiction and things. Well, as I close in prayer, this altar is open for those who want to pray alone, and I'll be at this altar for anyone that wants to pray with me. And also, if you need healing, the first pews will be open for that. Dear Lord, I just thank you for your word. I thank you that this church is just open to hear what I have to say, and just give me the opportunity to preach here. And just thank you for people that just love you and want to imitate you and nobody else. That we want to love people the way that you love us. Thank you for your word. Thank you that we could come here, and after I preach and after we hear these wonderful things that the church is doing, and Tyler's going over to Japan, and these things, that we can just worship you and fall down at your throne and just worship you and love you the way that you love us. Just be with us, be with the different ministries that will be occurring in the week to come. In your name, amen.
Page 201 in your hymnal. Page 201.